Welcome. I'd like to introduce our guest interview today is John Sokul. He's a partner with Hinckley Allen. And how are you, John?
I'm, all things considered, doing very well. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
So, John, how is Hinckley Allen coping with all of this? Is this must not be easy to be working out of your house when you're an attorney? Well, I don't know. Some attorneys do work out of their house all the time.
So we didn't, but we were sort of heading this direction anyway, with just the way modern technology is, and with requests from a lot of different types of people about workplace flexibility, the ability to work when home when needed. And so we were trending this way anyway. The pandemic really accelerated things, obviously. And right at the beginning, we made an investment to really equip our people at home so that they could work at home. Everybody had their remote laptops and things like that, but we invested in, some people needed printers, some people needed scanners, some people needed to work from two monitors, and we got everybody set up. And knock on wood, we are working as well as possible under the circumstances remotely.
So your company was planning on moving in this direction anyways?
Well, softly, we were not planning on giving up office space, but so that at any given moment, depending on people's needs, whether it's kids at home or wanting to go see a school play and then work after, or, job sharing with a spouse or ride sharing with others, we were just setting people up so that they could work as efficiently from possible, whether it be in the office or at home. The distinction between home and office was starting to blur.
It's funny, some people have been telling me that they've been more productive working out of the house than they have by going into the office. First off, you don't have the traffic that you have to sit in for 2 hours each, going in and coming home.
Yeah, so two things on that. One, you're saving commute time if you had a commute, right?
Right. And
then you just sort of get going on your computer, and there's no distinction between home and office work and non-work. You just got to force yourself. I took a walk today from noon to 1 just to take a break, because I rolled in here 6 o'clock in the morning and it just started working and it never stopped. So.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is that I usually go into the office and I'll have a little breakfast and I'll work. Sometimes I even work right through lunch, and then I won't eat anything till I've been eating from breakfast nonstop till past dinner. Yeah.
Rick, I got to tell you, at our Manchester, New Hampshire office, we have a kitchen full of food that's readily available. I've lost 10 pounds in the 2 weeks since I've been working remotely. So I'm going the opposite way.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a good thing. You're going to like working at home then.
My wife doesn't like it. Not by just having me around, but you need to make a distinction between when it's work and non-work, and she's good at that. The other thing I just wanted to say is that we've really been working hard at Hinckley Allen at improving our collaboration among lawyers, and this has accelerated some of that too. We now are using Zoom. I sort of knew what Zoom was, but what we're doing right now is Zoom, and everything is evolving so fast. We're curating expertise based upon particular client needs. So someone has become an expert in force majeure, somebody in the CARES Act, somebody on whether guarantees are enforceable and then we're putting these teams together because everything's moving so fast. We can't be experts in everything, and we're doing a really good job with that. I have never been prouder in my 13 or 14 years at Hinckley Allen than I am right now, seeing people respond, act. Things are red hot. The world is moving in like 3-hour increments, and we're just doing a great job. It's been very stressful, but very energizing. I'm really proud of all of our people.
Well, I think people are going to find this is making a lot of companies a little more efficient. I mean, you can get a lot of work done in a shorter amount of time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I do like being in an office, and I just wanted to say this the scene behind me is the view from my office window, but I am working at home. That is a picture from what the outside looks from my office window. So I am following the orders, but I like being in the office, again, to be away from home. And just, I think it facilitates more casual collaboration, being in the office, much easier to go to the person next to you and ask a quick question or roll out a plan or a document. And it's just more natural that way. So I don't know, but there's something happening. I think people will be doing this more once this all calms down, no matter what. And we'll just see what happens.
Well, we definitely are going to be seeing a changing world after this because, first of all, the social distancing, that's going to be a commonplace. I'm not sure how long that's going to go, but I think it's going to go quite a while. So
yeah, I could see it going that way. On the other hand, if we come out of this in, let's say, early May, mid-May, and the weather is great, I think people are going to have some pent-up want or desire for social contact and being out there and being part of things. So, yeah, maybe everybody will be more cautious, but I hope everybody just doesn't stay in their home.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
Boston is not set up that way.
No, you're right. But I do think that it's going to be. I was listening to a podcast on how restaurants, it's going to change for restaurants because people are going to go to a restaurant. Even though the restaurant might be fine and the coronavirus is gone, they're not going to want to sit table to table. They're going to want that table next to them to be at least 3 feet away from them or 4 feet away from them. The spacing.
I've always wanted that, Rick.
So you planned this whole thing.
Absolutely not.
So, bringing that up, what do you see the commercial real estate industry? How do you think this is going to affect things in that industry or our industry?
Yeah, a lot of people have already been negatively impacted in an immediate and devastating kind of way. You look at restaurant operators, you look at fitness club operators, you look at professional service providers like hairdressers and things. I mean, they've been ordered to shut down in most of the New England states by government order. And, things are happening in 3-hour increments or less. What I thought was going to happen last Wednesday is different than what I think is going to happen right now. Part of it is the passing of the CARES Act, and part of it is just the reality is sinking in. So we do a lot of commercial real estate, as you know. We have offices in 6 states. We have about 23 lawyers practicing real estate. We're talking to people every day. And, the 3 key groups are landlords, tenants, and lenders. April 1 is D-Day, or at least April is the month when next payments are due, either by rent under leases or to people's lenders. And we have been in touch with just a lot of clients asking questions about, do I have to pay? Should I pay? Should I be proactive? Should I wait and see? What about the CARES Act? Is that going to affect my ability to get relief from the government if I'm in default? Is business interruption insurance available? If the government says I have to shut down or the business shut down and I'm a guarantor, can somebody come after me even though I'm not? There has been so many questions from so many sources. It's really been incredible. And, but it's great to have a team like we have so that we can chop up and divide up responsibilities, and somebody will look at force majeure, somebody will look at business interruption insurance, somebody will look at CARES Act, somebody will see what lenders are doing, and it's just been a whirlwind, but all incredibly valid questions.
Well, see, I was just going to say, with a company like Hinckley Allen, where you are working collaboratively with all your other attorneys, with all these unanswered questions, I mean, it's probably great to have a team like that. to help.
It really is. I mean, even, not even, but, we have bankruptcy people, we have finance people. The finance people tell us what the lending industry is doing, and some guidance just came out over the weekend to commercial lenders. And we're big into construction. And so construction industry, even though they've been allowed to continue in Boston, or at least there's been a debate over that, they're looking at their force majeure clauses, and, just getting supplies is difficult. So to have those many people from those many sources have that type of information, it's just been very good to be able to deliver real quality advice and timely advice to our clients when they need it right now.
But now, this is unprecedented. We don't know what's happening day to day, and no one even expected something like this. So how do you deal with something like this whole issue when it's not something that ever happened?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. The first place to start, I think, is whatever your document. You got to go look at your documents. Even though this is unprecedented and was never anticipated, the first place to start is with your documents, right? What do your documents say? We're seeing, you've heard the phrase force majeure. It's if something unexpected, people usually think in terms of act of God. Does it excuse performance under documents? And as we've studied these force majeure clauses in leases from a variety of different sources, they're really falling out into three types. One, sometimes force majeure says no matter what, it doesn't apply to the payment of rent. You have to pay rent no matter what. Two, there's some force majeure clauses that don't have that express carve out. And so then what does that mean? And then three, some leases don't have a force majeure provision at all. And so what other clauses in the leases are people looking at? And those types of things are frustration of purpose, impossibility, and some force majeure provisions, going back to force majeure, say in no event can force majeure last longer than fill in the blank, 30, 60, 90 days, or then either party has the right to terminate. Some people are saying what's happened if you're closed down by government order, it's a governmental taking, and the eminent domain provisions would apply. And so you start with your lease documents or your loan documents or your construction documents and see what they say. But the unknown here is there could be legislative solutions coming down the road that we're not aware of yet because the thing is so massive. And then two, hindsight being 2020, 2 years from now, courts, and we're looking to what courts have interpreted these clauses in the past, courts could take a completely different approach and put a different judicial gloss on things. There's a saying that goes, bad facts make bad law. I mean, these are pretty bad facts. And I'm not saying what's going to come out of it would be necessarily bad law, but it would be different law, which makes it a little bit hard to predict with certainty what's going to be happening.
So anyone doing a lease at this time, they're obviously going to have different clauses in it, because
anybody who's signing a lease today is not going to be able to rely on force majeure, right? Because this is well known, and it's
right.
Yes, but yeah. So I've seen a lot of different proposed paragraphs that try to address the COVID-19 situation, and some just make the whole thing a little bit ridiculous. I mean, why sign a document if you're gonna have a carve out as big as if something bad happens due to COVID-19, I can terminate. So there's an art to it, but yeah, a lot of people are trying to address the COVID-19 situation in documents they're signing today.
Well, I thank you. We're coming to the close of the interview, John, and you're always great to talk to, and it's great to be able to interact with another human being, being trapped up in at my house all day. But
so I'm delighted you reached out to me. I was glad to participate. The one thing I'll say before we close is it's the uncertainty of everything that's causing a lot of stress and anxiety. So what we're trying to recommend to our clients is try to get rid of the uncertainty. Be proactive. Communicate with the other side. Communicate with your lender. Maybe they'll offer a solution that is acceptable to you. Lenders just got guidance over the weekend from the feds. They can now be flexible with their borrowers. Communicate. Be proactive. We're all in this together. Don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out. Uncertainty is killing people, and I think with what's going on, we're sort of all in this together. A lot of that uncertainty could be reduced pretty quickly. So that's my end of the interview advice.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's one of the reasons. Well, I know that's the reason we decided to do something like this, because first we want to make sure that everyone in the community, the commercial real estate, or just our industry alone, they keep that lines of communication open with each other, and that that sure the people will want to see your face, John, out there. So,
I mean, look, the ICSC has been doing a great job with some subgroups, Counselors of Real Estate, New England Real Estate Journal, your group, informal talks and blogs have developed. But yeah, everybody's trying to stay in touch and share information. It's just
very important.
Yeah,
I think right now. Well, I thank you, John, and I hope you go back to work on the construction site behind you.
Have a great afternoon, and thanks for talking to me.
Thank you, and stay safe. Thank you for watching today's interview. If you'd like to be a guest, a sponsor, or even advertise in the New England Real Estate Journal, you'll find our contact information in the description box below. You can also find all our social media platforms so you can follow us. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel.